Okay, my Friday night movie recommendation this week is going to be The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. This film came out in 1958. We're talking the big toys at the time were Legos, which just got a patent, and the hula hoop, which had been around for decades as a piece of exercise equipment, but suddenly now it was part of this huge craze. Give you an idea of how what else is happening in our culture at that time. Dwight D. Eisenhower had just established NASA. So, very early days for NASA. Gunsmoke was top of the line as far as TV shows go. As far as movies, The Bridge Over the River Kwai won the Best Picture that year. This is the year of, the movies Vertigo. I'm trying to remember what else came out that year. Pardon me. The musical South Pacific. Anyway, so The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad wasn't the very first Sinbad movie that ever came out of Hollywood or was filmed, but it was one of the most enchanting. I mean, I loved some of the earlier ones. I mean, Son of Sinbad is one of my favorite films from that era. That was a John Huston movie. This one, none of the actors are big names. They were just basically working actors. Some of them have been seen in other films. The director had been working around on other films. He would later do Attack of the 50-Foot Woman and some other things that he had been involved in another movie that Ray had worked on, and would go on to do other movies with Ray Harryhausen. And this would become sort of like the first of a trilogy of Sinbad movies that Ray Harryhausen would really be known for. Now, Ray Harryhausen was a stop-motion animator, and he called it Dynamation, was his selling point. And he was the guy. Oh, his stuff just brought fantastic creatures to life. Other people trying to mimic him couldn't do it as well. The man was superbly talented. And if you did see somebody else who was doing stuff just as well as he was, they were usually a student of his. He basically ruled all the way through the practical special effects eras. I think that his last biggest one that he did was Clash of Titans in the 80s. Speaking of Clash of Titans, some of the armatures that were used in this one were cannibalized to be used in Clash of Titans. And this is the movie where there's this one scene where Sinbad is fighting a skeleton, and the audience got so excited by this that when Ray would go on to do Jason and the Argonauts, he decided, hey, if one skeleton was fascinating, then the audience will love 7 of them. So that's what he did for that. Really a joy to watch. Lots of vibrant color, lots of fun effects. If you go on to Rotten Tomatoes and take a look at their rating system, it still holds up. This is just a fun movie with some good legs to it as far as sheer entertainment value. Didn't really win a whole lot of awards. Didn't make the Oscar list, but it's one of those films that even when it doesn't make it through the Oscars, is still known today because it's too much fun. Anyway, it was released very late in that year. It was released for the Christmas market, so that people would have something to go to watch Christmas, some escapism. But even after Christmas, it still brought in the people to the theaters. And for quite a while, it was a fairly successful movie at the time. Anyway, so that's this week's recommendation. 1958's The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. Give it a view.